So, we'll see on him at the end of the week. Russell Okung did hurt his groin right before half, and he will be evaluated later in the week to see how he is. Keenan Allen made it through just fine. He was limited last week. He made it through just fine, though. Obviously, Joey Bosa's out again. Kaiser had a small procedure done this morning. He had a minor surgery on his knee, so he'll be out this week. And Joe Barksdale, we'll check him out at the end of the week and see where he's at. No, it won't be an extended period of time. But I'm not going to put a timetable on it, but we expect to have him back sooner than later.
With Russell dealing with the groin, are you going to continue to have Sam over at left tackle?
Yeah, we'll put Sam over on the blind side and put Trent at the right tackle spot. I thought Trent came in last night and did a good job in the second half. He held his own over there.
Was there any thought of having Lamp at right guard and kicking out Mike to Schofield?
You can do that. You're making two moves instead of one. But, yeah, you certainly can do that.
Is part of that you like the way Schofield's playing at right guard and you don't want to?
I think Schofield's playing pretty good right now at right guard. And, when Forrest gets back, we'll let those guys decide who's going to play that spot on the field. But right now, Michael's doing pretty good. And like I say, you just don't want to make two moves when you don't have to.
Is Forrest closer to getting back in your?
I think he's getting closer every single week. He's gaining more confidence in his knee, and he's learning how to play with it as is. It may never be 100%, but sometimes it takes athletes time to learn how to play with that injury and be productive.
Without Kaiser, you got to see it yesterday. How are things different, or how does that affect what you guys are doing?
Well, JB's a veteran. He was in that spot before Kaiser, and I thought he played well yesterday. So we'll be fine with Jatavius. But what we're going to miss out at is special teams. Jatavius, he was turning into one of our better special team players, and now he's got to go back into a starting lineup. So we've got to, lessen his role there.
Just looking at special teams, when looking at the film, what did you see out of the kicking game? Is it the process, or?
Well, I started out with the coverage units. They were outstanding. I mean, the way they're covering right now, the way they return the ball, I'm thinking hitting yardage. I think they had over 100 yards. So, that's equivalent to a touchdown in a lot of people's formula. So I think they play well. The kicking game, that's something that we're evaluating right now. And we're looking at it not just a kicker. It's a snapper. It's a holder. We're looking at the whole entire process. And that's got to improve, and it's going to.
Will you bring in kickers this week?
We'll see. We'll see.
What was the original plan on punt return? I know Desmond heard about it on Saturday. What was kind of the original plan?
Well, when Keenan was, he was limited throughout the week. Travis was a game-time decision. I feel like we needed more depth at wide receiver. So Jeremy Davis came up, and I needed that spot, so I had to put J.J. down. I knew Desmond could return kicks, and so that worked out well.
Is that at all a consideration for next week as well?
It really is. Yeah, it depends on how the receivers go throughout the week, and I kind of like what Desmond did as a returner.
Depending on how Travis comes back, even in a couple weeks, if he's healthy, would you consider alternating returners just to throw the other team off?
No, I think it's important for a returner to get into a rhythm. And, Desmond averaged 20.5 yards a carry last night as a returner, so I think he's in a pretty good rhythm right now. So I don't want to disrupt that.
Anthony, in terms of the kicking situation, how much do you value, having somebody here during the off-season training camp and all that time and investment in working with that guy versus moving on from that person and bringing a new person in? Now you have to get that person.
No, that continuity is important, for those guys to work together because, as I'm learning, it's so much that goes on with the snap. It's so much that goes on with the hold that can affect the kicker. And we've had a lot of kickers come through here. Okay, that's been the common theme around here. Okay, but we have other guys that have been here the whole time. So now we got to look at the whole entire process. All these kickers can't be bad. So we're just looking at everything right now.
Is that part of it too? Is that you spun through so many people that at some point, even though it doesn't look great early, that maybe you just need to.
It'll work through, absolutely. But that's what you spend all season for. That's what you spend doing in training camp. We should be beyond that right now. We should all be on the same page and moving in the right direction.
Do you feel like your evaluation
rotation of kickers has changed since last year, just because, like you said, it wasn't necessarily working, or are you trying to think about it differently? Or?
Well, I'm thinking about it differently, as in I'm looking at the whole entire process, the holder, the snapper, and things like that.
I was just wondering if that was different from maybe how you looked at it, or your perspective has changed since last year.
No, I mean, we studied Caleb over the offseason. In critical kicks, he was like the #1 kicker out there. He didn't just get bad all of a sudden.
Have you guys kept in contact with Roberto since you released him?
No, we haven't kept in contact, but we really liked what he did when he was here. He did an outstanding job. He competed well, and he's a young man with a lot of leg talent. He's one of the top kickers coming out of college for a reason. And sometimes kickers just have to go through some things before they, grow up and become a kicker in this league.
With that familiarity, would it be possible when looking at things that you would?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, he's still unproven, but we had him here for 4 or 5 weeks in camp and had him here for the whole entire offseason. So I have a lot of confidence in him.
Going back to Trent, I mean, I know obviously you have to make that jump because you guys need him to, but how have you seen him kind of go from small college all the way to?
He was a very raw talent when he got here. Pat Myers, our offensive line coach, he's done a heck of a job with the young man. He's just coaching him up, teaching him different techniques and tools that he's going to need to use in this league to be successful. And Trent's worked hard at that, and you can see it.
What have you seen him work on specifically?
His pass protection. That's one of the hardest things to do in this league against these speed pass rushers. And just his sets, and the way he uses hands, and the way he communicates with the offensive line, that's all very important.
You guys get Corey back this week.
Yeah.
How big of a boost is that to have him back in the Northeast?
This is great. Corey's one of the better run stoppers in this league, and when he was in there in preseason, that front seven looked a lot better. And so it's going to be nice having him back.
What do you think of the guys who filled in?
Did a heck of a job. Darius Fowler did a heck of a job. Justin Jones, he stepped in and did a nice job.
Anthony, can he help you in terms of pass rush with that from the interior?
He has some sneaky pass rush. His get off is not bad at all, Eric. So yes, I think he can.
Have you seen him in the building today?
Yeah, I did. Saw him this morning.
Melvin's MO his first couple of years in the league was he wasn't really a yards after contact guy. He might go out of bounds a bit more. Just how much growth have you seen in his area kind of generating?
Well, one of the things we focus on is his extending runs and his ability to extend runs, and he's really worked at that really hard, and it's been an emphasis for him. So I think you can see it. He's winning his one-on-ones more, and it's paying off for us. But he's expanded as a wide receiver. I mean, his hands getting out of the backfield. He's a reliable threat for Phillip to throw the ball to, run out the catch. That's where I've seen the most versatility.
In terms of focusing on extending runs, what sort of stuff do you do to help a guy to?
Man, it's a lot of stuff you do to do that. It's a lot, and so you just you study a guy and you look at his tool set and what he has to work with, and you just teach him how to extend runs. Not everybody can do that the same way. Now, I had LaShawn McCoy. That's a totally different animal. I would teach him differently than I teach Melvin.
Was that a learning process then?
It is. It is a learning process. A lot of film study, a lot of work on the field, and Coach Roberts has done a good job with that and working with Melvin.
Anthony, legit, what do you need to see on Wednesday and Thursday in terms of practice so you feel comfortable with making them active on Sunday?
Corey, just his conditioning, stamina. I don't want him to go out there and get hurt, and then we lose him for a while. So we're going to test him and see where he's at conditioning-wise.
What he saw?
He looked good. He's been training, but it's impossible to duplicate what we do on Sunday. So we'll check it out.
Does it help that he had training camp, and so he was?
That does help. That does help. He wasn't gone that long, but he was gone long enough where he could have gotten out of shape. But Corey's a professional. I'm pretty sure he was taking care of himself.
Is that a situation where he has to earn his spot back, given how well Darius and other guys have done, or?
He's an established veteran. We know what he can do, and it was unfortunate that he got suspended, but we'll throw him back in as soon as we can.
Just with kicking, how frustrating is it because you guys have been, no matter how many kickers you go through, it kind of remains the same thing?
Well, I mean, I can't say that it hadn't been frustrating because it is frustrating, but it's my job to fix it. So I'm looking at everything.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay.